Abdul El-Sayed on with Jesse Waters. Folks, this got heated.
Again, sex changes for minors. Do you support that?
Look, I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends about right to try legislation. The idea that the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. I just think the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. And if you're a minor,
you want to try on kids?
Now, if you disagree with that, if you disagree that healthcare decisions need to be made by a doctor and their parents and a patient, then we think we agree to disagree. But you want to put government inside.
So Abdul, you're a doctor, right?
Selectively.
No,
I am.
So you think it's okay for a parent to slash his kid's thing-a-ling off? You think that's okay?
I mean, do you really want to have this conversation? Are you circumcised?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a
Jesse,
personal question.
Okay,
doctor.
So you probably should want to move on.
Is circumcision's different than castration?
I think it's a problem. It's a problem that you think that you get to decide what happens between a parent, a doctor, and a patient. And I'm just saying that, yes, circumcision is surgery on a kid's ding-a-ling. So if you really want to bring that up, you can. I just think you guys are really selective about how you want to talk about these things.
Abdul, Michigan's not going for that.
All right, we gotta unpack this. So he's now trying to equate circumcision to boys getting their penis chopped up and turned into a vagina. Shelly.
Seriously, how do you answer that? He's a physician, number one. We know that that's not what a circumcision is or does. We know that. So he wants us to suspend reality, basically, and come into this alter reality in his world where it's okay for children, particularly females, to have genital mutilation done on them. Female genital, that's where the world that he comes from, or the world where his religion proffers, if proliferates, if you will. So that's why he wants us to do that. He does not want us to say, no, as a physician, you have not only a legal, moral, and ethical prohibition against doing such things, but to children, to anybody, just because you want to slash off their ding-a-lings and sew up their vaginal holes. I mean, again, how do you answer that? I mean, it's ludicrous, not to mention it's evil.
Yeah. Can you believe he tried to make the comparison, Nicole, to circumcision to trans surgery on boys?
Of course. Listen, I can believe it because there's nothing he won't say to appease his base. I mean, at this point, he knows that he's going to have to kind of step away from the middle and go as far left as he possibly can in order to stand any sort of chance, because the Black people have already said, it's a no from me, homie. No, absolutely not. We're not doing it with you. So he has to get all of the white liberal ladies and their confused children to vote. This is what he's going to have to do. But for a physician, now, I don't know if he's practicing or not.
No, he's not. He has never practiced. He's never practiced. He just passed medical school.
When you talk about the right to try, and you talk about the right to try as if it has something to do with insurance choices, that's not what the right to try was or is. The right to try is to save people's lives, to try experimental drugs. Now, we know what a castration is, right? We know what happens when they take a penis and turn it into a labia and a flake. Well, when they make that transition, quote unquote, when they make that transition, let me tell you, it's nothing like the right to try. Nobody's life is being saved. Nobody's life is in danger with transsexual surgery. That's not any of that. That's absolutely a choice. If there has ever been the textbook definition of elective surgery, that is it. This is a decision that some person with body dysmorphia and some very serious mental illness has come to. Prayerfully not a child, prayerfully not parents who are kind of pushing this with their children, but we see that more often than not, right? You come to the table in this irreversible surgery, and they say, oh, no, it's reversible. It's not reversible. It is not reversible. It is not reversible. This is changing that person's life forever. And for a physician to even mimic those words out of his mouth, it speaks not only to his character, but to his ethics. The medical board somebody should be writing a letter, making a phone call. This is outrageous coming from a physician. Absolutely outrageous.
It is. It is, folks. Sam, I would love to hear from the men in the chat. Do you equate circumcision, okay, which is the removal of the foreskin, all right? It doesn't remove the penis or the testicles. It doesn't reconstruct the genitals to resemble a vagina. I mean, what we're talking about, this trans surgery alters it interrupts puberty. I can't even believe he just said that. I was shocked when I saw that. I was shocked. And then he tries to equate that to trans surgery. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. I hope this goes viral so you all can see how nutty these people are. How nutty these people are. I want to hear what the people are going off. What's up, everybody? This is Poppin' Politics. Get your merch. Are you a Poppin' Politics fan? Are you unapologetically American? Or not black, not white American? We got it all for you right here. Get your merch.
Get the classic shirt. Classic. Goes with everything, comes in a variety of colors. Smart, edgy, conservative, like us, like you. This is a great way to support the channel. Click the merch button.
There is no shame in being an American. Get your shirt today and be unapologetic about it. Get your shirt, wear it, and be a proud American.
You can get it all in t-shirts and hoodies. You can get it in stickers, on bags. You can get it all on our website, metroconservativemedia.com, or our YouTube page, Pop and Politics, and tag over to store. You can get your merch and show you're proud to be an American and support Pop and Politics.
Nope.
Producer, can we show some of these comments here? I'm curious. Not even close. No. That's for hygiene purposes. Exactly. Make asylums great. Right, Allie?
Absolutely, Allie.
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Hell no, it's not the same.
I know that's right.
Absolutely not.
No
way. Switching a child's gender is ungodly and inhumane. They're making money on it. Exactly.
Without question.
Yep. Yeah. Josh says, nope, circumcision is purely for hygienic purposes. Exactly. These people are sick. Do you hear me? But folks, I got to say this. I know this is not Christian conservative. If you want to hear a biblical take on this, check me out on Thursdays and Sundays, Michelle and I on Christian conservative. This is what the time we are living in, when they're trying to twist what right is going to look wrong, and they're trying to make wrong look right. And if that isn't the poster child, that little segment of the time that we're living in, I don't know what else is. That man is insane. And as you ladies mentioned, and he is a doctor. But there's plenty of them out here that are working, that are out here talking to our young people. You take your kid to their pediatrician and they ask you to leave the room, and you got that demon in there telling them circumcision is compared to genital mutilation or trans surgery.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
This is why, again, I know the children can be very young, but this is why it's important for parents as early as possible, as early as your child, of course, can understand it, things like that. When they go to their pediatricians, you need to be teaching him or her the values, number one, that you hold, why some of the questions that may come up and how to answer those questions with you in the room or without you in the room. You need to be practicing this literally on purpose, intentionally with your child. Don't wait until the child is 16 or 17 and then they ask you to leave the room. You need to be doing it when they're 9, 10. There's going to come a time when your pediatrician may ask mommy or daddy not to be in the room, and it's up to you, certainly. But these are the questions that may come up. You need to teach your child how to answer. Unfortunately, you have to do it that young. Unfortunately, but you have to do it.
Yeah, right. Because it's a template, right? So most of medicine nowadays is a template. And the way that the child answers the question dictates what the next question will be. So it's really interesting that there are some pediatric practices that ask the parents to leave the room. There are some pediatric practices that beg the parents to stay, because there really should not be parts of that template that are completed without the parents in the room. But once your kid in this state in Maryland gets to be 12 years old, they may ask you to leave the room so they can talk to them about their sexual health, if they're having sex, if they need birth control, are they attracted to the same sex? If they are attracted to the same sex, have they had sex with the same sex? Are you using a dental dam? If you're girls, are you using a condom? If you're a boy? So it's just, questions that you have to ask in order to finish the template as a part of the note. It is discouraging that Shelley is right, that you have to start teaching your children how to answer these questions when they're 2 and 3. And so by the time they get 12, that they're well rehearsed on, this is not anything I want to comment on. I don't consent to answering any of these questions. And by simply saying that, they'll skip that whole section and move on to the next thing. Yeah. So you do have to teach your children what to say, how to say, when to say. And unfortunately, schools are asking these questions too. Absolutely. So this is something that's going to have to be a part of, getting to know your address, your telephone number, where your next of kin lives, and that you don't want to answer questions about your sexuality.